Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Raptor X here with Good Clean Gaming RX, and today for our new player guide we're going to be going over the basics of ship controls and a little bit of combat. If you find this video to be helpful, please do consider hitting that like and subscribe button and helping the channel to grow. This is the Aurora MR, one of the starter ships that many of you have chosen to begin your journey in the verse. And I've spawned it here at the hangar 2 in Grim Hex. To get into your ship, you can hold the F key, like so, and then click on Open Ladder, Open Door, or Enter Ship. This will get you into the ship. You have a bed in the back of the Aurora, which means you can bed log by lying down and then holding the F key and clicking log out. To enter the pilot seat, again hold the F key and left click. Holding the F key or function key is really the default key for doing much of anything in the verse, so something you should get used to pressing. When you first spawn into your ship, or rather get into your ship, none of the weapons or engines or systems will be powered on. So the first thing to do is press the R key on your keyboard to power up weapons, shields, and avionics.
Welcome to Robert Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
When you first spawn in, your shields will be down, weapons will not have power, and the engines will have to fire themselves up. However, once this is achieved, you are free to take off and begin your journey into the verse. To take off, simply hold the control key to strafe up. Sorry, the space key to strafe up. The control key will strafe down. The W key moves you forward. The S key moves you backward or decelerates. The A and D keys slide you left and right. The Q and E keys will roll your ship. Using the mouse, pushing forward will nose up. Pulling back will nose down. Moving your mouse to the left or to the right will initiate a yawing movement. We'll go ahead and exit the hangar here. To do a scan, as I've just done there, you press the tab key on your keyboard. It's always a good idea to do that occasionally, especially if you're in an asteroid field or a potentially hostile area of space, just to keep you alerted as to what is in the area. In this case, it appears that we're just about alone out here, so I'm not particularly worried. Once you've gotten out into space, it's fun to fly around, but at some point you'll probably want to travel somewhere. To do that, you'll press the B key on your keyboard to turn on quantum travel. You can simply align to a marker, those will be the diamond shapes, and hold the B key on your keyboard to initiate your quantum drive. This will lock you into your quantum drive, which you can escape by holding the B key until you have reached your destination. We're coming up on the planet Crusader here. I'm going to have a quick look around. We're starting to get the yellow flashes there, as you can see, which simply means that we are entering Crusader's atmosphere. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a little bit so that we don't do that. These diamonds that you see scattered around the planet are orbital markers, or OMs. You can use these to jump around the planet quickly, instead of having to fly all the way around, which would be quite tedious and boring. I'm going to go ahead and accept a simple mission, and we'll move on to the basics of combat. We'll go ahead and accept a very low risk target. And the diamond marker will show up, pointing us to where our target is. We'll go ahead and align, and hold the B key to begin quantum travel. During combat, there are a few buttons that you'll need to know how to press and what they do. A few of the most important are the F5 through F8 keys. These control your power allocation, and especially when you're in one of the light fighters, are critically important to surviving any sort of combat. The F5 through F8 keys control the following ship components. The F5 key, which can be held to increase all the way to full, or tapped to increase incrementally, controls your ship's weapons. The F6 key controls your ship's throttle or engines, and can be tapped or held to increase incrementally or to increase to full. And holding or tapping the F7 key will increase power to your ship's shields. Tapping the F8 key will return everything to default, or a balanced distribution of power. If you're in the Aurora, you can see this distribution right over here, and pressing the F5, F6, or F7 keys respectively will move around the pips, and hitting F8 will return it to default. The second thing that you'll need to know is how to fire weapons. You can do this just dumb firing by holding the left mouse button for your first weapon group, the right mouse button for your secondary weapons group, or both the left and right mouse button to fire both weapons groups at once. You can enter missile operator mode by pressing the middle mouse button on your keyboard on your mouse, which will arm one of your missiles. At this point, we don't have a target, so we can't really lock onto anything. We'll go ahead and find a target over here and demonstrate the rest of combat. I'm again pulsing the scan button here, just so that we can see the asteroids ahead of us, first of all, so that we don't run into anything, and second of all, any ships that are in the area. Most notably will be the bad guys popping up ahead of us. There's our target. We're going to go ahead and attract his attention by targeting him, by looking at him, and pressing the T key. Whoop! We're being targeted with missiles, so we're going to go ahead and press the H key a couple of times, which will dump some decoys and help to shake those missiles off. I'm getting out of the asteroid field here, so that I don't have to worry about running into anything while these enemy ships are flying towards me. I'm going to go ahead and fly just a little bit farther so that I don't have to worry about hitting those asteroids. The arrow that you see moving around the screen indicates the enemy ship's position. Whoop, he's blown past me. The 4 dashes in a circle that you can see there indicate the projected impact point, or where your bullets will hit if you squeeze the trigger. Like so. There are 2 weapon modes that you'll be using, especially in your starter ship. Fixed and gimbaled. Fixed weapons are like this, where you have to point your ship directly at your target's projected impact point and pull the trigger. However, if you press the G key on your keyboard, you'll enter gimbaled mode, which is where your ship attempts to aim at your target a little bit for you, like so.
Enemy down.
There's one down. We have a secondary ship who's coming after us, so we'll go ahead and take care of them as well. It's important to try and stay out of the direct line of fire of the enemy ships, because only a few hits from most of the ships in the verse will destroy your shields and could destroy your ship in only a few seconds. Whoop! That one appears to have jumped away. It was a little bit too much for him to handle us. Let's go find another target, and we'll go over the basics of missile operator mode. Okay, here we are, over the moon Celen, and we're approaching our next target. I'm going to go ahead and switch into missile operator mode by pressing the middle mouse button on my keyboard. Right now we're not targeting anything, so it's not showing up. However, if we target something by pressing the T key, our missiles will arm and we'll be able to fire them. I'm going to go ahead and dump some noise there, or sorry, decoys, chaff, to avoid getting hit. Missiles can only be fired, oh goodness, inside of a certain range. And at this point, we can't fire any of them because we've been blown up. One moment while we reload. Okay, a few minutes later, and we're back. Once again, missiles can only be used within a certain range. You cannot be too close, nor can you be too far away. This range will vary depending on the missile, and to some degree, depending on your ship. As you can see, I'm getting much too close and unable to fire my weapons. We're going to go ahead and get out to several thousand meters. And try and target. Oop, goodness, there he goes. And they keep getting a little bit too close. So we're going to go ahead and switch back to weapons. They're quite effective at close range. Waiting till you're within only 300 or 400 meters is quite effective. dump some more noise. Or decoys, sorry. To avoid the missiles that he's firing at me. We want to avoid fire from him. While dumping as much fire as we can into our target. I would recommend using the gimbaled mode at first by hitting the G key, as it does greatly increase your chances of actually hitting your target and of dealing the maximum amount of damage. If you find that either your shields or your weapons are becoming depleted, moving your power allocation either to shields or weapons respectively will charge them up faster and allow you to remain in the fight for longer periods of time. For right now, we'll go ahead and see about finding another quick mission, and we'll go over a little bit more combat to finish up today's video. So here we are, once again approaching our target. I'm going to get up and out of the asteroid field to start with, so that I don't have to contend with running into the asteroids. Again, hitting the tab key to make sure that you don't have anything in front of you to run into is always a good idea. There's our target. I'm going to continue strafing over to the left. So that I can stay out of the asteroid field while maintaining vision on my target. I'm going to go ahead and dodge through the asteroid field now to pick this guy up. And dump a couple of decoys of our own to avoid getting hit by his missiles. As you can see, we've fired one of our missiles. I'm going to go ahead and roll around, try and hit him again. Target by pressing T. And then firing with the left mouse button. My missile is dry at this point, so I'm going to swap back to weapons. Again, using G or gimbaled mode to inflict the maximum amount of damage. There's one. As you can see, quite effective and relatively easy to do. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Take care, and I will see you all next time. Ta-ta.